Hello my dear fashion enthusiasts, I'm delighted to be with you today as we discover together the Mame Kurogouchi Fall Winter 2026 fashion show presented during Paris Fashion Week. From the very first silhouettes, you will step into a very particular atmosphere, almost silent, as if suspended in time. The rhythm of the show is slow and controlled, and each passage seems to extend the previous one, gradually creating a truly immersive experience. Very quickly, you may sense this intention to create a space that feels more internal than external, as if the garments themselves were carrying an invisible landscape, both diffused and emotional. The designer draws inspiration from the mountains of Nagano, yet you will notice that nothing is ever represented in a literal way. The references are softened, filtered, almost blurred by a sense of distance. Personally, I find this approach particularly compelling, as it avoids a purely descriptive reading, and instead allows us to focus on sensations rather than an obvious narrative. As the show unfolds, you will observe a very precise exploration of transparency, which truly stands at the core of the collection. Here, it is neither decorative nor dramatic. It acts more like a structure, a way of shaping the space between the body and the garment. Layers of fabric overlap, allowing light to pass through, creating a subtle visual depth, almost like a mist enveloping the silhouettes. The use of ultrafine nylon thread, with a delicate shimmering effect, plays a key role in this perception. It appears in asymmetrically draped dresses and blouses, offering a restrained glow that never feels excessive. The volumes remain soft and fluid, moving gently with the body. What I particularly appreciate here is this ability to create lightness without drifting into something overly fragile or ornamental. You will also notice the ink-printed motifs depicting mountain flora. They appear on hooded coats, field jackets, and more structured pieces, creating an interesting contrast between functionality and poetic expression. Even the most utilitarian silhouettes retain a certain softness, almost as if they were infused with memory. Layering gradually becomes a central element throughout the show. Translucent anoraks, capes with frosted reflections, and multiple layers are added without ever weighing the silhouettes down. Cord embroidery, inspired by traditional agricultural textiles, traces irregular lines across garments. It's a detail I find particularly interesting, as it connects the collection to craftsmanship without leaning into nostalgia. The color palette evolves within a carefully controlled spectrum of greens. From soft, pale tones to deeper, almost forest-like shades, the colors unfold through dense yet breathable knits, as well as dresses featuring subtle gradient effects. The overall result feels almost painterly, like a landscape slowly transforming before our eyes. What truly stands out is this constant search for balance, between opacity and transparency, between structure and fluidity. Nothing feels fixed, everything seems to exist in transition. It requires a certain level of attention, but it is precisely what makes the show so immersive and coherent in its progression. Among the strengths, we can highlight the overall consistency, the precision in the use of materials, and this ability to create a strong atmosphere without relying on spectacular effects. On the other hand, some silhouettes may feel slightly repetitive or less visually impactful at times. That is something I personally noticed, although it also reflects the designer's deliberate choice of restraint and continuity. I will now let you fully enjoy the rest of the show. Enjoy watching and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I would love to know what stood out to you the most in this Mame Kurogouchi collection. Thank you so much for being here, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon for another moment of fashion on Brandibay Fashion. Goodbye.